All right, it's been a while, a few days at least, since we last worked on our trading strategy that combines the three models being dynamic, flow, and numbers trading, all comprised into one strategy, powerful strategy. So let's run through this real quickly, what we've done thus far. We've set up our ADX at a period of 18 to check the strength of the trend. We have installed on an H4 chart a 50 exponential moving average and a 200 exponential moving average. We have on our H1 chart a 20 exponential moving average and a 50 exponential moving average. And we have on our M15 chart a 10 exponential moving average and a 20 exponential moving average. This moving average in particular was a third-party installation, a freebie from MQL4 that I gave you a link to that you could download, and it would notify you, as you see here, when you would have actual crossovers, which is an important part of our trading strategy. In the H4 chart, we added also a freebie, the chart sync, which allowed us to move from one currency pair to the next, automatically populate all the charts without having to go one by one to add the currency pair that we want to analyze and potentially trade. So now let's automate this a step further. On the H4 chart, we don't have to do anything. What we have here stays as is. On the H1 chart, we don't do anything either. We make the modifications to our M15 chart. So first we do is just right click anywhere in the chart, go into indicators, and now we remove the MQL4 third-party indicator. Highlight it, click on delete, click on close, and it's gone. Now we're going to add the two moving averages, the 10 and the 20, using the same color combination we have on the rest of the charts, and we'll do other stuff so you still get the arrows and whatnot. So just be patient. So we click on add indicators icon, then we go to trend, we select moving average right here, we set our first one to 20, and it's exponential. Use whatever color you want, just make sure it matches the same color that you use for the slow moving average on the other charts. Now we add the second one, repeat, click on the add indicator icon, moving average, and we choose 10, and we go and set the color again so it matches those of the other charts, the fast moving averages. Click on OK, exponential by the way, and we're done. We're going to add a second thing to this. We are going to add again on the install icon, indicator install icon, we're going to highlight custom, and we're going to select custom SLTP. Click on enter, and you really don't have to do anything here. Everything is set. Just simply click on OK, and it doesn't show anything yet. This is used when we have an actual open order. Wherever our stop loss and take profit is going to be, this particular indicator will show you, instead of pips or points, will show you what your stop loss or your take profit is in actual currency. And depending on where you are in the world, it will display in your currency. For example, US will be the dollar sign, US dollar. For Europe, it will be the euro sign, euro. For South Africa, for example, it will be whatever symbol they use for the rand. In Japan, where you have yen, it will be the yen sign. with yen currency. Great Britain will be the pound sign with pound currency, so forth, so forth, so forth. And it does that automatically. Again, it'll show you what actually your stop loss and take profit is in actual currency value. Make it much easier for you to understand how much you're risking and how much you're standing to gain if the trade goes your way. Now, I do understand that you do not have this custom indicator. Don't worry, I leave a link below. You can download it. This is my own personal indicator that written for me for my own personal strategy, yours for free. The second thing we're going to add to this window now, or the low end chart, the M15 chart, is a expert advisor. And for that, we make sure that the chart is selected first of all. Then we click on press Control N like Nancy. That brings up the navigator window. Scroll down to where it says expert advisor. Look for hybrid trend light. Move it over. And in this case, I already have it. I'm just going to say yes. So, and here you see all the default settings. There is nothing you have to change except if you want to change your risk. In my case, I'm going to set this to 2.0. You risk whatever you like. Everything else is preset and you don't have to modify anything unless you want to. But let me go over the list real quickly. Risk, how much you want, percentage you want to risk per trade of your total account balance. The fast moving average period 10 has to match the one we drew on the chart. Same for the slow moving average, set to 20. It is automatically exponential. The ATR period, this is what we're used to calculate a variety of things, being stop loss, take profit, lot size, slippage, and even control to some extent as possible our spread. While we cannot alter the spread that's determined by the broker, we can control it. So, and with control I mean we can see whether or not the spread is too high based on ATR value, and then we simply don't trade. If you leave it at 0, which is the default setting, the program, the bot, will automatically determine which ATR period is the best to use, not only for the time frame, but also for the condition of the market at the moment. Is it highly volatile? Is there a lot happening? Is it quiet? All that will determine what is the best ATR period to use. So leave it at 0 and you'll now have automatically adjusting ATR based on market conditions. Now, stop loss, again, is calculated dynamically. It's the ATR value with a multiplier, and you determine the multiplier. 2.0 means twice the distance from entry point, and the same for take profit is the ATR value times the multiplier. 3.0 means 3 times the distance from entry point, or a ratio of 2 to 1 in this case. Then we enable trade management for the stop loss take profit. We leave that to true. What this does is that it will automatically adjust stop loss and take profit based on market conditions. Highly volatile markets will have a wider stop loss, leaving you a little bit more room for expansion and retraction, while quiet markets will have shorter stop loss because the market is hardly moving and you won't get stumped out as quickly as you would on a fixed stop loss. Enable automatic trading or automated trading is set to false. If you set this to true, this system will completely operate on autopilot. It will determine whether or not there is a signal, buy or sell, and it will then enter that signal buy or sell based on its own determined conditions. Until you're familiar with how this operates, I highly suggest you leave it at false. What happens then is under the false option, when there is a possible entry, you will actually get a message displayed on the screen telling you that you have either a buy or a sell. It will tell you what your stop loss and your take profit distances are, and you have a choice to accept it or not. If you accept it, the trade will be entered. If you don't accept it, the trade is canceled and no harm done. Last but not least, this right here, remember how the third party was drawing arrows on crossovers? This is what this does here. This section, we draw cross arrows when the MAs cross. If you don't want to do that, simply set it to false. You can set the arrow display to what you like. I like solid arrows. That's what these numbers are. The arrow size, you can make them smaller or wider to a max of 5. And the color you choose, it's up to you. I like lime green and orange red, but you pick what you want. Finally, you have time frames to trade. These are suggestions. If you want to have fast action, use M1 for the entry chart, M5 for the middle or for the setup chart, and M30 for the long-term or bias chart. So if you want to do intra-trading, use M5, M15, H1 combo. If you want to do swing to intra-trading, which is what I am set to, then you use F15, H1, H4. And if you want to do swing trading, you use H1, H4, and D1. When you're done with that, merely click on OK. You're done. Close the little window. And now you see right here already, it's telling you checking signal. So we, of course, want to know what the signal is. This message, by the way, will disappear. There it is, disappeared already on its own. Click on Experts, and it will tell you what you have. Right now, the EMAs are not aligned across the M15, the H1, and the H4. It knows what chart time frames you use, and it knows based on the settings whether or not your EMAs are aligned. This is one condition that must be met in order to even be considered a possible trading opportunity. And sure enough, when you look, the M15 EMAs are pointing up. So do the EMAs on the H1, but on the H4, they're pointing down, meaning downtrend, uptrend, uptrend. So they are not aligned. Next, it will tell you that you don't have a buy signal because conditions weren't met, and it explains that. There is bullish crossover detector on M15? No. If there was, there would have been an arrow, and it would have given you a beep signal to alert you that there is a crossover. Bullish follow through is set to yes. I'll explain in a second what that means. And the trend is weak, and it's right now at 14.87 on the H4. And sure enough, we're well below 25. So even if we would have had, for argument's sake, an alignment of EMAs on all three charts pointing up or uptrend, we still would not have had a signal because the trend is weak. Remember, this is quality over quantity. I cannot say this often enough. This means fewer trades, but high probability trades. High probability trades, meaning high percentage for success. Okay, it does the same analysis again for a sell signal. It says no sell signal, same reason. There is no bearish crossover. We also have no bearish follow through. We can't because we have a bullish follow through. And the trend also is weak because we're using the same trend analysis. And the conditions will be checked again in 15 minutes. And that is because our smallest chart or our lowest time frame chart is a 15-minute chart. If it was a 5-minute or a 1-minute chart, this would say that it will check again 5 minutes or every 1 minute. So you understand how this works. So now, let me explain what is a bullish follow through set to yes. Let me enlarge the price a little bit so it's easier to see. There you go. Bullish follow through means that while we're having, and I'm going to draw some arrows here, while we are having an uptrend on the M15 chart and price is clearly bullish, it is a follow through because at this moment the price of the candle is also bullish and it's above the previously closed candle. So we have a follow through. What does that mean? It means that price is steady going upwards. And that would be a real nice trade to take because price is heading in the right direction with good conviction. The EMAs are also up with fast MA above slow MA. That is also a positive. But the two negatives that we have, three negatives that we have. Number one, we don't have a crossover here or anywhere else until way back, not even here. So it's way back when. So that's the first part. The second part that we have is that we have a weak trend because we're well below 25. And the third non-trading signal that we have is that we have right here the EMAs are not aligned with this EMA and with this EMA. So this is how this works, and it does that for every signal you want to trade. Here we go again. We're now checking signals again, and we'll see what we get. Once this disappears, you don't see any refreshing here for the simple fact that it's merely an overlap, but it is changing. And if you were to scroll down in here, then you see that it is actually, it is actually updating. So we have to, that's why it says here that it's checking for signal, and you have a tick here. As long as this moves, that means there is something happening in the market. Market is working. It may be slow, it may be sluggish, but the ticks, changing of ticks, means that there is something happening on the market. So here you go. It went through, and again, now we have no follow, something changed. We have no follow through of the bullish direction, and again, trend hasn't changed. No buy signal, EMAs are still not aligned, and no crossover, and again, no follow through of bullish. And you can now clearly see that for yourself. This candle is definitely down versus the prior candle and even versus this candle. So there is no strong follow through, and this would not be a signal to take or a trade to take no matter what. So this is how it works, and it repeats that process over and over and over. And if you want to check another currency, again, I keep missing this. I always do this for some reason. Just take, move it over. Here you go. And let's see what this tells us here. Here we have, okay, we'll have to wait, I think, for the sync to come in. Let me try another currency pair at this point in time. Okay, on the M15, this is taking a little too long. So what I'm going to do instead, yeah, we have to wait for the tick to come in. And on a 15-minute chart, the ticks aren't as rapid, aren't as plentiful. So let me set this to a much lower time frame so that you can follow along and really see how this works. So let me go with the M1, M5, and the M30. So cancel, we go here and we set this to M1, we set this to M5. Already I got a crossover signal, it beeped, and it shows me the arrow, and here we go to the M30. There we go. Now for the M30, you need to set the ADX to 10 in order to match with whatever symptom is given on, or whatever diagnosis is given. So we set that to 10 and click on OK. Here we go. And now here we are. Here we see it automatically adjusted charts time frames. They're not aligned. We have a crossover. We have a bullish crossover, It already disappeared because we're on a 1 hour chart, so 1 minute chart, so it's very fast movement. But our EMAs are not aligned, and let me show you. So again, you can follow this. This one is down, this one is down, but this one is up. We have a trend that is weak because we're right here at the edge. 25 is our minimum threshold, and we're just below or right on top of it. It's a no-go. This again will update every minute, and it will do that for every currency pair you want to use. If now ahead, and again, I constantly make that mistake. I don't know why I forget. It should automatically remove that. But anyway, so move it over. Here we go. And we're waiting for the tick to come in. And then it will adjust this. There you go. The tick came in. And now it's going to check signal in a minute. And this will automatically update. I'm going to wait to show that to you because of the fact that I want you to see how this works. I guess this was the wrong time of the day to make this video because the market is very quiet. Even a 1 minute is not moving massively or barely moving, as you can tell by the tick. It's hardly being updated here. So yeah, we need to just literally be patient and wait and see what we get. So anyhow, there we go, checking signal. Okay, we have a crossover happening. It tells us right here, bearish crossover on M1. Yes, we do, but we don't have, unfortunately, a follow through, and the trend is very, very weak. Sure enough, when you analyze all this, it absolutely matches the trend right here, dipped below the 25 right here. You can tell the EMAs are not aligned. This one is up, this one is up, but this one is down. We do have a crossover, but our price bars are not following through because we have a good bullish bar that turned into a bear bar that then became bullish and caused the crossover, but it closed at the same level as the prior bar. So at this point in time, this is not a trade to take. That's why you also don't get the trading signal because it's not matching up. And even if it was, you still would not get the trading signal for the mere fact that the EMAs are not aligned. Now, I understand that you don't have this hybrid model, and I am happy to announce that I'm going to give you this absolutely free of charge. There is a link in the description box below that you can download this, install it in your Experts subdirectory of MQL4, and with it, it also has a PDF file that you can download that gives you which EMAs are the best to use and what ADX settings you should use, and also explains the entire strategy in action, and when you get a positive signal and when it works and when you get a solid trade. So that is it for now. After you've installed it, please do so on a demo account. Obviously, play with it, trade with it, so you get to see exactly how this works. Because again, this is only the very basic. We're going to take this even further than this, to the point that eventually we have a 100% dynamic flow and numbers trading strategy that will completely run on autopilot and that does everything that a trading strategy is supposed to have, including closing an open trade when the trend becomes weak, or if you have too much drawdown, all sorts of things. It will track the order, the trades that you take in a special log that is sorted month by month, as well over the entire year. It shows you everything you need to know about that trade. For example, not only what ticket number the trade was on, what entry price you had, what stop loss you had, what take profit you had. It also tells you your slippage, your spread. If you made profit, how much it was. It tells you your ADX settings, and it even gives you the reason why the trade was closed, whether it triggered a stop loss, or it was a manual close, or it was closed because of a weak trend, or it was closed by the broker, whatever the reason may be. That's where we're heading to. But first, learn this so that you understand it. And I highly suggest, again, on a demo account, so that in case you have losing trades, which you're bound to have, you don't panic. And the main premise here is to learn this way of trading, but above all, to get to understand this way of trading. Now, something is going to happen, and I've mentioned this from the beginning. Not every signal you're going to get is going to be a trade. Not every trade will be a good trade. This is quality over quantity. I can't stress that enough. So patience, patience, patience. And you're only going to get the signals that are considered to be solid trading signals. All right, I blabbered enough for today. All the links to download all the tools are below, my gift to you. And I'll see you in the next video, where I say we'll take this up a few more notches. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.